dear students, welcome to Space Gate. Myself Surendra Babu. In this session, I would like to discuss about detailed solution of power electronics questions asked in Tspsc-Aee exam, that is electrical paper 2. The exam was conducted on 22nd January 2023. Yes students, okay, this is the one of the question asked in power electronics. This question is from the three-phase bridge rectifier, that is the diode bridge rectifier. It's a very simple question. Already this question already framed even in ESC exam and GATE exam also. It's very simple question, students. A three-phase diode bridge rectifier supplied from a three-phase 400 volts 50 Hz AC supply delivers power to a resistive load of 50 ohms. The peak value of the instantaneous load voltage would be. It's very simple question, students. Direct formula based question. What is the solution for this one? You have to find the peak inverse voltage. Yes students, for a three-phase diode bridge rectifier, given is diode bridge rectifier. Diode bridge rectifier. The peak inverse voltage equal to VML. VML stands for maximum line voltage. Maximum line to line voltage, friends. Maximum line to line voltage. Yes, friends, concentrate. It's very simple. But given is three-phase 400 volts 50 Hz supply. All of you well known this. In three-phase, whatever the supply is given, unless otherwise specified, you have to take that voltage is the RMS voltage. It is not a maximum voltage. That is, given is three-phase 400 volts 50 Hz supply. 50 Hz. Okay, this is the line to line RMS, students. Line to line RMS. But you have to substitute the maximum line to line voltage. Now what is the relation between RMS value and maximum value? Then the peak inverse voltage equal to VML, that equal to root 2 times of line to line RMS. This is equal to 400 root 2 volts. Okay, that is the answer. Then which option is correct, students? That is 400 root 2 volts. That is third option is correct. It's very simple. That is a direct formula based question. What is the peak inverse voltage? What is the peak inverse voltage? Okay, it's a direct formula based question. See the one more question. It is also very simple question, students. Very simple. Except one or two questions. Remaining questions are very easy in power electronics. Total 22 questions are asked. Out of 22 questions, except one or two questions, remaining is very easy, students. Once you have the subject, solving of these questions are very easy. What is the low order ripple frequency of the output voltage of a three-phase fully controlled bridge converter if the AC input supply frequency is F? Very simple question. It is asked on ripple frequency. Given is three-phase fully controlled bridge rectifier, students. Given is a three-phase fully controlled bridge rectifier. Fully controlled bridge rectifier. Bridge rectifier. For a three-phase fully controlled bridge rectifier, we know that it is a 6-pulse converter. It is a 6-pulse converter. It is a 6-pulse converter. If it is a 6-pulse converter, what are the ripple frequency, students? Ripple frequency equal to, concentrate, ripple frequency, number of pulses per cycle, number of pulses per cycle into frequency. Then what is the ripple frequency of three-phase fully controlled rectifier? Ripple frequency equal to how many number of pulses per cycle? It is a 6-pulse converter, that is the number of pulses per cycle is 6. That is 6 into F. Okay, this is equal to 6F, students. Then which option is correct? Concentrate all of you. Then second option is correct. See the question and see the answer, students. This is the detailed explanation of the whatever the questions are asked in AW exam, that you have to concentrate. See the one more question. A single phase diode bridge rectifier, again it is a diode bridge rectifier, used to supply highly inductive load. If the load current is assumed to be ripple free, that means it indicates that continuous mode of operation. It indicates that continuous mode of operation. Then the input current at the AC side of the rectifier will be the input current. Input current in the sense which current, friends? You have to find the source current waveform. Source current waveform. Given is single phase diode bridge rectifier, friends. All of you well known this. Inductive load, let's consider RL load. It is the single phase diode bridge rectifier. Given that constant current in the sense ripple free DC current. Ripple free DC current in the sense continuous mode. Full wave rectifier continuous mode means it must be inductive load. Let I0 is constant. I0 is constant. We know that in a bridge configuration, source is subjected to bidirectional nature of the current. Source is subjected to bidirectional nature of the current, friends. That is, this is D1, this is D3, and this is D4, and this is D2, friends. If D1, D2 is conducting, with respect to source, see the solution, students. Concentrate. With respect to source, the current is flowing this direction. If D1, D2 is conducting. If D3, D4 is conducting, with respect to source, okay, that you have to concentrate, the current is flowing this direction with respect to source. Okay, this is the direction of the current. That is, this is if D1, D2 is conducting. This is if D3, D4 is conducting. That means source is subjected to what nature of current, friends? Bidirectional nature of the current. But it is a constant current. If you draw the source current waveform, we can get the shape like this. The source current waveform of full wave diode rectifier is, if D1, D2 is conducting, I am taking positive. Whatever the load current is there, that current only passing through the source. If D3, D4 is conducting, I am taking the negative. Because of source is subjected to bidirectional nature. Then what is this shape, students? If one is taken as a positive, another is taken as a negative. Why, sir? Because if D2 is conducting, current is one direction. If D3, D4 is conducting, current is another direction. That's the reason why I taken the bidirectional nature of the current. Then what is the source current waveform? The source current waveform is which one, friends? Square wave. It's a very simple question. See, for explanation purpose I am giving all these, but in exam no need to analyze this one. Direct by seeing the options we can answer. Clear? That point you have to concentrate. But to know this, how we are getting the square waveform, this explanation I given. Next, see the one more question. Students, before going to the next question, it's a very important announcement. SAIMEDHA, that is Tspsc-Aee, who are preparing for the Polytechnic lecture course, students. SAIMEDHA Tspsc-Aee providing a recorded video course. This course includes topic-wise digital recorded video classes. Yes, students, very important announcement, students. Concentrate. Topic-wise previous ESC bits detailed explanation. Topic-wise previous UPSC bits detailed explanation, students. That is the civil service questions. Topic-wise previous Tspsc, other state PSC bits detailed explanation. All these are the recorded videos are available. Subject-wise grant tests, topic-wise previous gate bits explanation. That is a detailed explanation, students. Topic-wise previous GenCode, Transcode, Discoms bits explanation videos, topic wise previous ISRO, JTO, DRDO bits explanation videos, topic wise live tests, full length live test, all these are providing through video classes students, recorded video classes. To crack the any exam, in order to crack the any exam student, to crack the exam very easily, this preparation is enough. Whatever the SAIMEDHA Tspsc-Aee is providing the video recorded classes, for each subject detailed explanation, you have to prepare that, then you can get the subject and you can practice all these bits. This practice enough to crack any exam, to crack any exam. Not only Polytechnic lecture students, GATE, this course is also useful. GATE, ESC, GENCO, TRANSCO, DISCOMS, PSUs, ISRO, DRDO, Tspsc-Aee, APPSC, for any course, for any exam, to crack any exam, this course is enough. This preparation is enough students. Whatever the video classes we are providing, this preparation is enough. This is more useful students. It is very, very important announcement. The P structure is 8999 only. The operands on only on 1st February 2023 students. You have to concentrate based on this one students. Yes. For more details, whatever the number is scrolling, you can contact that number. Yes students, one more question. This is the question based on the three-phase bridge inverter. Consider the following statement about three-phase voltage source inverter. They required, yes students, concentrate. They required, first option is, they required voltage bidirectional two-quadrant devices to realize the switches. This is the wrong statement. Why students? Given is voltage source inverter. Concentrate. Given is three-phase voltage source inverter. We know that in voltage source inverters, whatever the switches we are using, that switches must be bidirectional capability, bidirectional current capability. It's not voltage. Bidirectional, that is the current capability. Bidirectional current capability. That means the switches must be conducting both the direction. Bidirectional current capability. But here the statement is given, they required voltage bidirectional two-quadrant devices. No need to require that to block the both the polarity. No need to require bipolarity. Voltage bidirectional, what is the meaning of voltage bidirectional students? Bipolarity. This is the meaning of this sentence is bipolarity. But in voltage source inverter we require bidirectional current capability. That's why it is a wrong statement. See the one more statement. PWM techniques are used to reduce the efficiency of the harmonics in the, to reduce the frequency of the harmonics in the output. To reduce the frequency of the harmonics in the output. This is also wrong statement. Sir, why? Why it is a wrong statement? The reason is students, if you by using the PWM technique, we can eliminate all the low order harmonics. All the low order harmonics are eliminated. The output consists of higher order harmonics. Once the output consists of higher order harmonics means higher order harmonics having high frequency or low frequency? High frequency. That means whatever the PWM output we are getting, that PWM output consists of higher order harmonics whose harmonic frequency is high. All the low order harmonic frequencies are eliminated. But it is giving that to reduce the frequency of the harmonics. That is meaningless. But output consists of higher order harmonics whose frequency is high. Okay, that's why second statement is also wrong. That B statement is also wrong. Next, in 180-degree conduction mode, a new switch is gated in every 60-degree. Yes, it is the correct statement, students. We know that in 180-degree mode, what is the sequence of conduction of devices, students? The sequence of conduction of devices is 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, Concentrate students. 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 1, 6, 1, 2, again 1, 2, 3. This is in one cycle. In one cycle, this is the sequence of conduction of devices, students. Okay, this is the sequence of conduction of devices. This is how many degrees? This is 60 degrees. This is also 60 degrees. This also 60 degrees. This also 60 degrees. This is also 60 degrees. This also 60 degrees. Total how many degrees? 360 degrees. See, for example, here 3 is triggered, friends. Here 3 is triggered. How much angle 3 is conducting? 60, 60, 60, 180. That means in 180 degree mode, each device is allowed to conduct 180 degrees. That's why it is called 180 degree mode. But one more observation here. It is very important. Here 1 is going to turn off. 4 is coming. Next, here 3 is going to, here 3 is going to, sorry, 2 is going to turn off. Which is coming? 5 is coming. Yes, friends. It's very simple. Concentrate. Here 1 is going to turn off. Who is coming here? Which switch? 4 is coming. 2 is going to turn off. Which switch is coming? 5 is coming. That means for every 60 degrees, one device is turned off, another device is coming. But that means one switch is turned off, another switch is coming for every 60 degrees. Okay, this is the statement. In 180 degree conduction mode, a new switch is gated in every 60 degree duration. For every 60 degree interval, one switch is turned off, another switch is coming. Okay, that's why only statement C is correct. That is option 2 is correct, students. Okay, that you have to concentrate. See the one more question. It's very simple, students. Very, very simple. Once you know the subject, solving of these questions are very easy. Which among the following is an example of voltage bidirectional 2-quadrant switch? Voltage bidirectional. What is the meaning of this one, students? Voltage bidirectional meaning is bipolarity. Bipolarity means it blocks the both the voltages. It blocks the both the voltages. We know that MOSFET is, if you draw the ideal characteristics of MOSFET, students, if you draw the ideal characteristics of MOSFET, then it allows the forward current and it blocks the positive voltage only. Yes, friends, concentrate. This is V, yes. Okay, this is I and this is minus I and this is V and this is minus V. It allows the forward current and it blocks the forward, that is positive voltage only. Then if you see the SCR, students, what about the SCR? Even MOSFET, BJT also same. Even BJT also same. Yes. MOSFET and BJT is unidirectional unipolarity device. Unidirectional and unipolarity. Unipolarity means only one voltage it blocks. Unidirectional means only one direction it allows. Next, what about the diode, students? Diode also unipolarity and unidirectional, but diode blocks which voltage? This is I and this is minus I and this is V and this is minus V, students. Okay, that you have to concentrate. It blocks the reverse voltage, it allows the forward current. But what about the SCR, students? I think all of you well know this. SCR operates in both forward blocking mode and reverse blocking mode. What do you mean by forward blocking mode? It blocks the forward voltage and it blocks the reverse voltage also, and it allows which current, students? Forward current. That's why it is a bipolarity. Both the voltage that it blocks, it allows only one current, unidirectional current. Therefore, SCR is the example of which device, students? Bipolarity and unidirectional device. Unidirectional device. Then which option is correct, students? Then which is, the question is asked voltage bidirectional. Voltage bidirectional 2-quadrant. 2-quadrant means first quadrant and second quadrant. 2-quadrant. Then voltage bidirectional is bipolarity. Then SCR is the correct answer. Yes, students, concentrate. It's very, very simple questions, except 1 or 2 questions from the drives. Okay, that is also very easy. but some calculation is required, 1 or 2 questions, remaining is very easy, students. Yes. See the one more question. Consider the following statement about a phase controlled single phase full bridge converter using SCRs. The average output voltage at the DC side varies linearly with the firing angle. The power factor at the AC input side depends on the converter firing angle. The average output voltage at the DC side varies linearly with the firing angle. It's a wrong statement, students. Following statement about a phase controlled single phase full bridge converter. Students, we know that V0 equal to 2 Vm by pi cos alpha. Single phase full bridge converter, 2 Vm by pi cos alpha. It cannot linearly varies because it is a trigonometric function. The average output voltage is proportional to cos alpha, is not directly proportional to alpha. It is a trigonometric function. That's why it is not a linear. Okay, that is first statement is wrong. The power factor of the input side depends on the converter firing angle. Yes, it is the exact statement, correct statement, friends. Think all of you know that in single phase full wave rectifier, students, in single phase full wave rectifier, in single phase fully controlled rectifier or full wave rectifier, fully controlled rectifier, what are the input power factor, students? Fully controlled rectifier, the input power factor equal to 2 root 2 by pi cos alpha. This is equal to 0.9 cos alpha. That means input power factor depends on the firing angle. That is the correct statement. Next, the converter cannot be operated with firing angle greater than 90 degrees. Exactly wrong statement. It's a wrong statement. We can vary the firing angle 0 to 180 degrees, but it is giving that it cannot operate for greater than 90 degrees. It is a wrong statement. Only statement B is correct. That is option 1 is correct. Clear, students? Concentrate. Next. Okay, this is the GATE 2020 2 marks question, sir. Who prepared the previous GATE questions? No need to answer this, no need to make any calculation. Directly you can answer. It is a 5 millijoules. Answer is 0.005 joules. That is the answer. This is a previous GATE question. Then how to answer this question? It's also very simple explanation that you have to concentrate. It's a very simple. The mass, this is given is which regulator, students? The given is a buck boost regulator. The given regulator is the buck boost regulator. This is the question on buck boost regulator. Buck boost regulator. This is the question already previous GATE question, GATE 2020 question, without changing any data, directly question is given. Yes, given is the buck boost regulator whose switching frequency is 10 kHz, sir. Whose switching frequency is 10 kHz. Here I am going to give a very simple explanation that you concentrate. The duty ratio is 0.6. The duty ratio is 0.6, students. The initial inductor current is 0. If all the components can be assumed to be ideal, what would be the energy stored in the inductor at the end of 10 switching cycles? After 10 cycles, what is the energy stored in the inductor? According to given duty cycle. Generally, throughout analysis of any circuit, we can analyze with the assumption of energy stored equal to energy released. With that assumption only we can analyze. But here, according to given duty cycle, after 10 cycles, how much energy is stored, that you have to calculate. When the energy stored in the inductor, if the stored energy cannot be released, still if there is energy is present, completely cannot be released, then only energy is stored in the inductor. Understood? Okay, student. What the duty cycle is given? 0.6. Once you know the duty cycle, how to calculate on time? On time equal to D into T. That is on time equal to 0.6 into T. What is the off time, students? Off time equal to 1 minus D into T. That is 0.4 into T. Very simple observation here that you have to concentrate. During switch on time, L storing the energy. L storing the energy. Concentrate students, L storing the energy. Yes or no? During switch is on state, storing the energy. This is during switch is off state, L releasing the energy. L releasing the energy. L releasing the energy. But very simple observations friends. 0.60 times is storing, 0.40 times only releasing. But still some energy is there, whatever the energy stored of 0.2t times. It is 0.60 times, it is a 0.40 times. That is, the energy is present in the inductor for one cycle, for one cycle, 0.2t times of energy. During 0.2t times, whatever the energy stored, that time of energy is present. That time of energy is present. That time of energy is present. Yes friends. During 0.2t time, whatever the energy is there, that time of energy is present for one cycle. But here after 10 cycles, for 10 cycles, 10 cycles means this is for one cycle. 10 cycle means 0.2t into 10. 2t times of, during 2t time, whatever the energy stored, that much of energy is present in the inductor after 10 cycles. Okay, this is the T students. 2t time of energy, whatever the stored in the inductor, that energy is present after 10 cycles. It's very simple. Simply you can calculate V equal to L into di by dt. But simply I am writing like this, V by L into T equal to I. Let us assume that initially, given that initially there is no current in the inductor, means initial conditions are 0. Initially current is 0. Then you can calculate, integrate and you can calculate. Finally you can get this relation only. I am not doing that one. Then I am calculating I students. I equal to V by L into T. How much voltage it is given? The voltage is how much students? That you have to concentrate, is 50 volts. Okay, this is the 50 volts. Okay, this is 50 volts is given. 50 volts. Inductance is how much it is given? The inductance is 10 millihenry. That is 10 into 10 power minus 3. What is T? T is the 2t time. Because during this time whatever the energy stored, that energy is present in the inductor. Shall I write like this friends? I equal to 100 by 10 into 10 power minus 3. This T I am writing as a 1 by F. This is equal to 100 into 100 by, yes, concentrate, this 100 by 10 into 10 power minus 3 into 1 by frequency. Frequency is how much it is given? 10 kilohertz. 10 into 10 cube. Okay, this is equal to how much friends? I equal to 1 ampere. But you have to calculate the energy stored. Energy stored. What is the energy stored friends? The energy equal to half Li square. The energy equal to half Li square. Half into L is how much it is given students? The inductance is given 10 millihenry. 10 into 10 power minus 3. I is 1 ampere, that is 1 square. This is equal to 5 millijoules. The answer is 5. 5 millijoules is nothing but a yes friends, 5 millijoules, 0.05 joules. 0.005 joules. Then option 3 is correct. But who already solved the previous gate questions, those students directly they answer the question. They don't do this much of calculations. But how we got this answer, that only I explained. Yes friends, that you have to concentrate. Okay, this is the question based on the choppers, that is the buck boost regulator, that is the up down chopper na buck boost regulator. Next, this also very simple question. Once you know the concept, solving of the questions are very easy. A 3-phase full controlled converter feeding the armature of a separately excited DC motor. The motor has to also operate in third quadrant. Okay, this is important. Given is third quadrant operation you want. Third quadrant means, yes friends, in the quadrant operation of converter, this is V0, this is minus V naught, this is I naught, this is minus I naught. Third quadrant means this is the third quadrant. For third quadrant, V naught is negative, I naught is also negative. To make the V naught is negative, I naught is negative, in the case of rectifiers, not only alpha greater than 90 degrees, no doubt at all. If alpha greater than 90 degrees is maintained, voltage is negative. If alpha greater than 90 degrees, voltage is negative. But current never be negative. Then to make the current is negative, we have to reverse the armature terminal, just like in dual converter. You have to reverse the arm. Before going to the dual converter, why do go for the dual converter? This is the reason. We know that in three-phase rectifiers or single-phase rectifiers, you have to reverse the armature terminals. Then only we can operate in the quadrant, different quadrants. We can get the current is negative. To make the voltage is negative and current is negative, not only alpha greater than 90 degrees, you also reverse the terminal, students. Then only current becomes negative. That point you have to concentrate. By operating with the triggering angle alpha greater than 90, by connecting a freewheeling diode, voltage never be negative, sir. If you connect the freewheeling diode, negative spikes are eliminated, always voltage is positive. That is wrong statement. Yes, students, see the third statement. By adjusting the triggering angle alpha only firing angle adjustment not possible to operate in third quadrant, because we have to make the current is negative. That's why third statement is wrong. By adjusting the triggering angle alpha followed by armature connection reversal. Yes, fourth statement is correct, then automatically first statement is wrong. Why? First statement they given you have to maintain only alpha greater than 90 degrees, greater than pi by 2. Yes, voltage becomes negative. What about the current? Because you have to operate current third quadrant. That's why here, even though they don't give an alpha greater than 90 degrees, the statement is given like this now. By adjusting the triggering angle alpha, you can adjust the alpha for greater than 90 degrees. That is the meaning. Then followed by armature connection reversal. Then fourth statement only the correct. That you have to concentrate. Then we can operate this in which quadrant? Third quadrant. Yes, friends. See the one more question. What is the effect of AC side source inductance in SCR based phase control rectifier with firing angle less than 90 degrees during RL type loading condition compared to that in zero source impedance condition? This is the question based on the effect of source inductance. This is a question based on the effect of source inductance, friends. Effect of source inductance. Source inductance. I think all of you well know this one, students. Due to source inductance effect, we know that due to source inductance effect, what happens, friends? Due to source inductance effect, there is a overlapping of the devices. Given is effect of AC side source inductance in SCR based phase control rectifier. Due to source inductance effect, overlapping of devices. That is one effect. Next, average output voltage is decreases. And one more effect is the conduction angles are increases. Then in the given statement, average output voltage remain unchanged. That is wrong. Average output voltage may increase or decrease. Wrong statement. Always decreases. Average output voltage increases. That is also wrong statement. Only statement 4 is correct. That is average output voltage is decreases. Fourth option is correct, friends. Very simple question that you have to concentrate. The minimum, this is the SCR question based on the latching and holding currents. This is static VI characteristics question. The minimum value of anode current in an SCR that is required to sustain conduction in thyristor with zero gate current is called. Even though gate is removed, the SCR must be continuously conduct. You know this, friends? At the time of removing the gate signal, the anode current through the SCR must be reach a minimum value of current. That current is called latching current. After reaching the latching current, even though gate is removed, the SCR is continuously conduct. That current is nothing but which current? Lag. That means continuous conduction in the sense turn on. Then which current is associated with the turn on process, students? Latching current is associated with the turn on process. Okay, that's why this latching current associated with the turn on. That statement is enough to answer this question. Associated with the turn on process. That is 3 is correct. Next. Consider the following statement about a triac. It is a very simple question. A triac has bidirectional current carrying capability as well as bidirectional voltage capability. Yes, that is correct. Yes, students, we know that a triac is anti-parallel connection of two thyristors. A triac is anti-parallel connection of two thyristors. Okay, this you know the symbol. Let this is the main terminal 1 and main terminal 2. Okay, and then it is anti-parallel connection of two thyristors. Anti-parallel connection of two SCRs. And we know that it blocks the both the polarity and it allows the both the currents, both the direction. If you draw the ideal characteristics of triac, yes, this is the triac, V0 minus V0, I0 minus I0. Yes, friends, it blocks the both the polarity and it allows the currents in both the direction. That's why a triac is the example of bidirectional bipolarity device. That's why statement 1 is correct. Statement, a triac bidirectional current carrying capability as well as bidirectional voltage capability. A triac is functionally equivalent to two anti-parallel connected SCRs. Yes, that is correct. This triac is equivalent to anti-parallel connection of two thyristor, students. It is equivalent to anti-parallel connection of two SCRs. And it is having the two gates. It can turn on by both positive gate signal and negative gate signal. That is, the triac can be turned on with both positive and it is a turn on, not turn off. Turn off is compulsory commutation circuit. Turn off is commutation. But I am talking about turn on. Using gate, we never turn off the triac. Using gate, we can turn on only. But by using positive gate we can turn on, by using negative gate also we can turn on. Please correct that one. The triac can be turned on with both positive and negative gate currents. The C option is also correct. But is not turn off by gate, it is turn on by gate. But if you want to turn off means like in SCR, here also commutation is required because it is a semi-controlled device. Then A statement is correct, B statement is correct, C statement is correct, A, B, C, that is option 2 is correct, students. Which of the following is the function of an RC snubber circuit connected in parallel to an SCR? Forced commutation, it is wrong. Limiting the di by dt, it's wrong. Triggering the SCR is also wrong. Preventing over voltage across the SCR, yes. Actually we know this one, students, all of you well known this statement. A snubber circuit is used to reduce the dV by dt. A snubber circuit, RC snubber circuit. A snubber circuit is used to reduce dV by dt. To reduce dV by dt. That is, but instead of dV by dt, they given the statement is over voltages across the SCR. Generally, you already studied one more statement also. To prevent the over voltages across the SCR, generally we can use the thyrector or varistor or MOV, metal oxide varistor we can use. But that is not given here. It is asking that snubber circuit, dV by dt is not there. Maybe their motive is over dV by dt, they are considered as a over voltage only. That's why correct answer is preventing over voltage across the SCR. That point you have to concentrate. Next, simple question. An ideal diode connected in series with a pure inductance is supplied from a, this also previous gate question. Fraction of minute we can answer. Gate or ESC question, this one. An ideal diode connected in series with a pure inductance is supplied from an ideal AC voltage source. Then for what duration in radians will the diode conduct with the respect to the AC voltage waveform? Yes friends, given that the given is, what is the solution for this one students? It is a diode rectifier connected with a purely inductive load. It is a purely inductive load students. Okay, this is D. The supply voltage sinusoidal V equal to Vm sin omega t. This is the inductor, what is this I naught. I am not giving derivation, not required. We know that for purely inductive load I naught equal to Vm by omega L into 1 minus cos omega t students. Okay, this is the instantaneous current expression. Where this current is maximum students? At omega t equal to pi, I naught equal to I max. Then what is this maximum current students? This maximum current equal to 2 Vm by omega L. Yes students, 2 Vm by omega L. This is the maximum current. Where this current is 0, at omega t equal to pi, at omega t equal to 2 pi only I naught is 0. That means when the diode is started from 0, during positive half cycle diode start the conduction, it started from 0, the current is 0 or to 2 pi only. That means the diode is conducting 0 to 2 pi. Current is maximum at pi, current is 0 or to 2 pi means therefore diode conducts 0 to 2 pi. That is how many degrees? 360 degrees. How many radians? 2 pi radians it is conduct. Then which option is correct friends? Option 3 is correct. Simple question. Okay, that you have to concentrate. The diode is conducting how many radians? 2 pi radians it is conducting. Next. See the one more question. It is a question based on the voltage source inverter. Okay, it is a fundamental question of inverters. Fundamental. Just by knowing the differences between VSI and CSI, we can easily answer this question. Students, we know that in voltage source inverter, how we can represent the voltage source inverter? A voltage source inverter is represented like this. It is a VSI. The input is voltage source, then it is a voltage source inverter. How we can represent the current source inverter, students? Practically current sources are not available. That's why a voltage source in series with large inductor acts as a current source. Yes friends, this is VSI and this is the CSI. In voltage source inverter, this is less input impedance because there is no any inductor here. This is the less input impedance. But a voltage source in series with inductor, students, it is equivalent to current source. Then it is having high input impedance. Current source inverter is having high input impedance because an inductor at input side, high input impedance. Okay, with this fundamental, both source and load have large inductance, then you can apply the VSI. Wrong statement. Both source and load have small inductance. It is also wrong statement. Source has a large inductance. That is wrong. Source must be small inductance. Source has a small inductance and load must be large inductance. The fourth statement is correct. Clear students? That you have to concentrate. Next. It is also very simple question, matching question. Silicon control, first Schottky diode. Schottky diode is a A majority carrier device, students, that you know. In Schottky diode, the total conductivity is due to only electrons. That is the majority carrier device. Unipolar device, that is a majority carrier device. That is A is matching with 2, sir. A is matching with 2. Next, silicon control rectifier, that is SCR. SCR is the example of 4-layer device. B is the matching with 4. B is matching with 4. Yes, friends, concentrate. Next, IGBT. IGBT is voltage control turn on and turn off. IGBT is the example of voltage control device. C is matching with 3. Next, BJT. BJT is current control device. BJT is current control device. D is matching with 1. A2, B4, C3, D1. A2, B4, C3, D1. Yes, friend. A2, B4, C3, D1. Then which option is correct? 4 is correct. Schottky diode is majority carrier device. A silicon control rectifier is 4-layer device. IGBT is the voltage control device. BJT is the current control device. A2, B4, C3, D1, the 4th statement is correct. Yes. Yes, friends. This is the question based on the drives, chopper drives, DC drives, that is the chopper drives. It's also very simple, small calculation only. Except this question and one more question. I think it's this question, except this question. Remaining questions are very easy, no calculations. Only this question and that gate question is somewhat calculations only. Remaining is easy, students. A 200 volts, 1000 RPM, 100 ampere separately excited DC motor has an armature resistance of 0.1 ohm. See what is the solution for this problem, students? The armature resistance equal to 0.1 ohm. Next, the motor is fed from a DC to DC step down chopper. The input DC source voltage is 300 volts. First motor data is, I am writing the motor data, 200 volts motor whose speed is 1000 RPM. Let this is N1, whose speed is 1000 RPM. The current is the current is given as 100 amperes. 100 amperes. It is which motor? Separately excited DC motor. The armature current is 100 amperes. Okay, this is the motor data, students. Motor data. For this motor data, using this motor data, first I am calculating the back EMF. EB1 equal to V minus, that is VA minus IA into RA. That is 200 minus, yes friends, 200 minus, that is 100 into RA is 0.1. 0.1, this we can get 190 volts. This is the back EMF. Okay. What is the duty cycle of the chopper for motor? Yeah, chopper data. Chopper data. For chopper, DC supply voltage is 300 volts. Then you have to find the duty cycle. The concept you have to apply in drives. What is the fundamental concept you have to apply in drives, friends? Output of chopper equal to input of motor. Input of motor. This is the basic concept. Output of chopper, DC chopper is operating in motoring mode DVS. It is a motoring mode DVS. Input is nothing but a VA. But at what condition you have to calculate the duty cycle, it is asked. Rated torque. Torque remains constant and flux is also constant, but speed is reduced to 500 RPM. Students, we know that if the speed is reduced to 500 RPM, then what about the back EMF? Back EMF is also changes. But what is the condition here? We know that EB is proportional to N. Then EB2 by EB1 is equal to N2 by N1. What is N2 students? N2 is 500. Here N2 is 500 it is given. N1 is 1000. Then from this what is EB2 students? From this you have to calculate the EB2. This EB2 equal to, yes, 500 by 1000 into 500 by 1000 into 190. It's correct. EB1 is 190. That you have to do this calculation. This cancel. Yes students. Then we can get 95 volts. EB2 equal to 95 volts we can get. Now you have to calculate, let this is the, initially this is VA1 you take students. This is the VA1 initially. Let this is VA1. Now I am taking VA2 condition. Now to calculate VA2, what is VA2 students? VA2 equal to EB2 minus IA2 into RA. But what about IA? Is it IA is remains constant or not? Or is there any change that you know? That you have to calculate. First you know this relation, T is proportional to pi Ia. Correct or not? T is proportional to pi Ia. Given that rated torque is constant. Torque is constant. What the flux? Flux is also constant. Then if the torque is constant, flux is constant, what are the current students? The current is also constant. Na? The current is constant. That means same current. Initially 100 amperes, here also same current 100 amperes. Then corresponding to that data, I am calculating VA2. VA2 equal to EB2. EB2 is how much? 95. Yes friends. VA2 equal, sorry, EB2 plus IAR2. EB2 plus IAR2. This is plus na? VA2 you want. Not back EMF. We are calculating armature voltage. EB2 plus IR2. 95 plus IA2 is 100. RA is how much? 0.1. Okay, this is 105 students. Now apply this relation. Apply this relation students. Apply this relation. Then what is that relation? Here itself I am calculating. VA2 equal to DVS. What is VA2? VA2 is, we calculated 105. Duty cycle into what the supply voltage? 300 volts. Then what the duty cycle? 105 by 300 sir. 105 by 300, that is approximately it is equal to 1.05 by 3. This is 0.35. 0.35. Duty cycle equal to 0.35. Option 2 is correct. Some calculations only. This question and previous gate question, whatever gate question I explained, that question only some lengthy calculation, remaining all are very simple questions. Once you know the concept, once you understand the subject, power electronics subject, solving of all these questions are very easy. Next. Okay, this is a very simple question sir, duty cycle. The question is asked, a step-up chopper delivers an average output voltage of 100 volts from an input voltage of 60 volts. When operating with a continuous source current, what is the operating duty ratio for the switch? You have to find the operating duty. Given is step-up chopper. A chopper delivers an average output voltage of 100 volts. V0 equal to 100 volts. The supply voltage is how much? 60 volts. Students, in step-up chopper, we know this students, in step-up chopper, come on students, V0 equal to Vs by 1 minus D. From this 1 minus D equal to Vs by V0. Vs is how much? 60 volts, V0 is 100. Then 1 minus D equal to 0.6. Then what the duty cycle students? 1 minus 0.6. This is equal to 0.4. The duty cycle equal to 0.4. Then which option is correct? Option 4 is correct. It's a very simple calculation. Direct formula, step-up chopper formula, V0 equal to Vs by 1 minus D. In this exam, these 3 chopper questions are framed. One question is step-down chopper and drives combination. Another question is step-up chopper, previously buck boost regulator, up-down chopper. 3 choppers are covered in this exam. Yes, 0.4. Next, in three-phase bridge inverter operating in square wave mode, the output voltage waveform contains, very simple. Students, in a square wave mode, that is, the output of the inverter is square wave. If the output of the inverter is square wave, in a square wave mode, because of symmetrical output, the output of the inverter is square wave mode. Because of the symmetrical output, students, then it consists only, yes friends, only odd harmonics. Only odd harmonics. All the even harmonics are 0 because of square wave output. That you well known in the Fourier analysis of even single phase bridge inverter also is seen in the square wave output. It consists of only odd harmonics. All the even harmonics are 0. That is, only odd harmonics are present. All the even harmonics are eliminated. Next. Yes friends. See the one more question. Which of the following statement is correct in the case of multi-loop? It is a simple question. Which of the following statement is correct in case of multi-loop based closed loop control of DC and AC drives having speed and current feedbacks? Speed and current feedbacks. Current control loop is faster than the speed control loop. Output of current control provides the reference speed. Speed control loop is faster than the current control loop. Speed control and current control loops have equal bandwidths. Always the current control loop is faster than the speed control loop, students. Okay, this is the explanation that you have to concentrate. In the case of closed loop control, there is a two loops, students. One is current control loop. This loop is called current control loop. This is called current control loop. The current control loop is used to limit the motor current and converter current to the safe limits. To make the current of the converter and motor is within the safe limits only, then we can use the current loop control. Then finally the operation of the speed control loop depends on the current control loop. But which is the fast response? The current control loop is fast response as compared to speed control loop. The name itself, it is a current control loop, that it is a fast response. The function of the current control loop is to maintain the converter current and motor current within the safe limits only. That current limit control we can. This is the current limiter. What the current limit control can do? Make the current limiter. A current limiter limits the currents of the converter and motor within the safe limits. Then which one is correct, students? Option 1 is correct. Yes, students, see the one more question. A bipolar junction transistor is, in the same exam it is a repeated question. In the same exam, already in the matching question same question is asked, again this separately it is asked. It's a repeated question. A bipolar junction transistor is current control device. BJT is a current control device, sir. All of you well known that. In a single phase SCR based full converter with continuous conduction operating with firing angle alpha, what is the angle duration of the each SCR? It's very simple. Given is full wave rectifier. Given is single phase full wave rectifier operating in continuous mode, students. Given is single phase full wave rectifier. Fully controlled rectifier, that you have to concentrate. Single phase fully controlled rectifier. It's a direct question, direct formula. Just conduction angles only. Once you know the conduction angles, answering this question is very easy. Given that it's applying the constant current to the load, I0 remains constant, positive, negative V0. For this circuit, yes friends, let this is T1 and this is T3, this is T4 and this is T2. We know that in a continuous mode, T1, T2 conducts alpha to pi plus alpha. Then T3, T4 conducts pi plus alpha to 2 pi plus alpha. Then what is the conduction angle gamma equal to pi? What is the conduction angle gamma equal to phi? Clear? Each SCR conduction angle is pi, sir. It's not pi minus alpha. Don't confuse, because alpha is given in the problem. That's why I have to consider alpha also. That's why it is pi minus alpha. That is wrong. With the freewheeling diode, if you connect the freewheeling diode here, then each SCR conduction angle is pi minus alpha. But in this case, the each SCR conduction angle is pi. Yes, this also drives question, very simple question. This is the question based on the slip power recovery scheme. In slip power recovery scheme, mainly we have to use the two drives, Kramer drive and Scherbius drive. But this question is based on the Scherbius drive, static Scherbius drive. Yes, friends. In slip power recovery scheme of three-phase induction motor drives, what is the operating speed with respect to the synchronous speed of the motor if the power is injected into the rotor circuit from external source? You have to inject the power from the rotor circuit to the external source, friends. Point to remember, friends. Let's consider static Scherbius drive. Let's consider static Scherbius drive. Scherbius drive. Okay. Here this is the bridge 1. This is the bridge 2, students. Two bridges. There is a two rectifiers here. Two three-phase rectifiers I taken. Point to remember, if alpha 1 less than 90 degree for subsynchronous speed, there is a two cases, students. In this case, there is a two cases. There is a two cases. Case 1 is if you drive at subsynchronous speed. Subsynchronous speed. Subsynchronous speed in the sense less than the synchronous speed. Subsynchronous speed. If you drive the less than the synchronous speed. If you drive the less than the synchronous speed. Alpha 1 is operated, that bridge 1 is operated as, let firing angle of bridge 1 is alpha 1, firing angle of bridge 2 is alpha 2. Bridge 1 is operated for less than 90 degrees, less than 90 degrees, then it acts as a rectifying mode, rectifier. Bridge 2 is operated as alpha 2 greater than 90 degrees, then it acts as in line commutated inverter. It acts as a line commutated inverter, that is inverting mode. That inverter is the line commutated inverter. Then for subsynchronous speed, then how the power is transferred? The power is transferred from rotor to bridge 1 and bridge 2. Yes, friends, the power is transferred from rotor to bridge 1 and bridge 2 and it is transferred to the source. Bridge 1, bridge 2 and source. Through transformer, it is transferred to the source. Okay, this is the case 1. Subsynchronous speed less than the synchronous speed. If it is operated for less than the synchronous speed. In case 2, students, there is one more case that you have to concentrate, that I am giving case 2. Case 2. B1 is operated for alpha 1 greater than 90 degrees. This is in inverting mode, that is a line commutated inverter, that is in inverting mode. And bridge 2 is operated for alpha 2 less than 90 degrees, that is in which mode, friends? Rectifying mode. Rectifying mode, that you have to concentrate. And power is delivered, in this case the power is delivered from source to bridge 2 and bridge 1 and finally to the rotor circuit. In this case, the motor is running on super synchronous speed. The motor is running at a super synchronous speed, that is the greater than the synchronous speed, students, greater than the synchronous speed. Then it is the power is delivering, concentrate student, the power is delivering, then the power is delivering source to bridge 2, then it is bridge 1, then finally it reaches to, yes, I will give the direction like this. Power is delivering source to bridge 2, then bridge 1, and it is enter into the rotor circuit. What the question asked here, students? What is the operating speed with respect to the synchronous speed if power is injected into the rotor circuit? To inject the power into the rotor circuit, it must be run at super synchronous speed. Super synchronous speed in the sense greater than the synchronous speed. That is, motor speed is above the synchronous speed, motor speed is always below the synchronous speed, motor speed reduced to 0, motor speed is equal to the synchronous speed, motor speed is above the synchronous speed. That is called super synchronous speed. Then only power is injected into the rotor circuit. This is according to by using Tspsc-Aee drive. This is by using Tspsc-Aee drive. But in Kramer drive, power is flowing in only one direction, rotor to the source, but here both the direction is possible. Above synchronous speed is possible, below synchronous. Below synchronous speed is nothing but a subsynchronous speed, above synchronous speed is nothing but a super synchronous, and this is the power directions, source to B2, B2 to B1, and B1 to rotor circuit. That you have to concentrate. Yes friends, these are different questions that is framed in Tspsc-Aee exam. For all those questions I given the detailed solution. You please go through those questions, students. You please go through that solutions. Once again I am remind you, SAIMEDHA, that is Spacegate, providing the video courses who are preparing mainly for Polytechnic lecture course, students. The next upcoming exam is the Polytechnic lecture course. Then through video course, SAIMEDHA Spacegate is providing topic wise recording classes. You please go through all these I already given, students, and this offer is available up to February 1st 2023, students. You have to, for more details you have to contact whatever the number is scrolling in this video, students. Yeah, this is about the detailed solution of the power electronics asked in AEE Tspsc exam. Thank you, students.